as you raised. Sean, to get started, please, an opening statement after today's match.
Yeah, disappointing result. Girls competed, and there's not much for me really to say right now.
Please use the hand raise function if you have questions. Jeff, go ahead. Please get us started.
Hey, Sean. Sorry about the result. I'm wondering, what do you think the difference was on the day? Obviously, we saw you all kept the ball as I'm sure you expected to, and what did it come down to? A moment of one team finishing a chance, one team maybe not.
What do you guys think? I mean, you guys watched the game, so we talked to the players about not forcing it, recognizing the moments to play through them or play around them, and whether the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then let the game sort of settle in from there. We ball got jammed in, they invited that pass in, they jumped it, and then it was just desperation defending from there. Missed clearance, nothing you really could do about that. And then when the game sort of settled down, but that was their one real bright moment, but we knew that would come if we just gave the ball away cheaply in the first 10 minutes for whatever reason. But I felt once the game settled in, we dictated it later in the first half. We just couldn't muster, which is sort of final chances. We had the one that was called back. It's probably the right call. But we were never able really to get behind. But that's just been the story of our season, really. So, but yeah, I mean, proud of the group's effort, their growth this year, and the work for 2025 starts now.
And just on the late game substitutions, can you walk through? I assume Caroline was on some kind of if not a restriction, just you had to ease her in. What was the decision to take Ashley out, and then I assume was Caroline just related to minutes?
Yeah, it's a combination of things. When you're on the field, you have to have an impact. Carol's obviously hasn't played a lot, so we have to be cautious with that too. As disappointing as she may have felt, but we do have to be careful. I just felt that we just never got in the game in certain areas, and then we had to add a little bit more pace up top, just to sort of maybe weather the storm, but also apply a little bit more pressure, and then maybe turn them a little bit. We were unable to do that. So you have to go for it at that stage, right? Whether you're down a goal. I know it's funny you ask. We subbed out 3 other players too, Jeff. We didn't just sub out Carol and Ash. So at the end of the day, we had to make a few changes just to throw numbers higher up the field, and obviously it didn't work out, but you have to go for it. Whether you lose 1-0 or 5-0 at that stage, it doesn't matter. But we weren't really providing anything dynamic in the final third, and yeah, it's a team thing, and we have to trust the players that we have on the bench to go ahead and make a difference. And had a couple of half chances late in the game, but they just defended their box really well.
Thanks, Sean.
Victoria, go ahead.
Hi, Sean. Thank you for your time. You talk about it being a team thing, and you really haven't had the whole cohort together for the whole season, at least getting game time together. What do you think are the prospects if you're able to go into 2025 with this whole unit playing together and getting minutes on the field?
The game, this 2024 just ended. I haven't even thought. I mean, we have to look at our roster and see areas that we can improve in, and at certain, there's always change, right? Every year it's never the same, and that'll be for for all of us to look at and see what is potentially available. And in terms of, from a player standpoint, we have a couple of free agents, obviously, that we have to make sure that we go and try and re-sign, and but we have to start making decisions on those soon so that we can look to see what we have to do moving forward. So, it's tough. I haven't even thought about it. I just know that we have to sort of lock up our players now and figure out what's their plan, and we go from there. But my job's and the club's job is I'm just tired of getting knocked out in the first round. So we have to figure out ways that we can see beyond it. But these are the moments that you relish and you learn from, and we'll get back to work in a couple of months, and we'll get back in early than we normally have, so that we can set the grind and set the platform for us to to build on going forward.
What do you want everyone to know about this team?
Yeah, I don't think people really notice the daily work that they put in for each other, the grind, the level of training that we implement, the demands that we have on them in terms of the intensity at which we train. But they're a really close group, one of the closer groups I've been around. They enjoy being around each other. I think they've represented the club in a positive way, and I think we've played some entertaining football. You know, we have to figure out certain things and why they happen, but it's a great group of women, and you know, they left everything out on the field today, and it's unfortunate that we have to go home and end our season, but there's a lot to be proud of. And as I told the group, in this country, success is only based on trophies. But for me, from where we started, not having a full roster all year, players in and out, injuries left and right, for us to be in this situation, when people maybe thought, well, where a goal is going to come from and all this stuff, there's a lot to be said about the group and the staff. And I thank the staff for everything that they've done. So yeah, it's been a rewarding year, but I'm not satisfied because I would have enjoyed being around the group a bit longer.
Thank you, Sean.
Pat Welter, go ahead.
Sean, you touched on it a little bit at the end, but I was just curious kind of what you said to the women after the game. I know it's really emotional, you know, losing a game like that, but if there's anything you can share from kind of what you spoke to them about.
Yeah, a little bit of what I just said. You know, I just said you can be upset, we could be disappointed, but there's been too many positives this year for us to look at the season as a loss. If they're mad at me or for taking them out or things like that, that's on them. That's, you know, I'm always gonna make decisions that are best for the team. But just telling them how proud I was of them and appreciating everything that they've done for ourselves, the staff, each other. You know, and the one thing I talked to the players about before the game was make sure you, whatever it is, after 90 minutes, you've left everything you can out on the field, so there's no regret. And I feel we've done that. But just disappointed that, like I said, that we don't get to go back to work together. You know, they've challenged me in many ways. I think they've made me think about things that I could be better at, which is, you know, being self-aware and recognizing that, and then now going into next year, how do I improve on that? So that hopefully they've learned something from me and the staff, but I don't think they realize how much we've learned from them, and that's part of being a team. So the disappointment is there, but that will soon pass, and I don't want them to look back on the journey and think of it as being a waste because we didn't come out with the trophy this year.
Dan, go ahead.
Thanks, Sean. Tough to tell on television, but were the conditions at all a challenge early in the game, especially for the kind of way you want to play possession style?
No, it was fine. It was just misty, and it was just decisions that we were making, and you could see once we got a hold of the game, we sort of dictated the game, and they died out a little bit. I thought we did a fantastic job with Chewinga today. I thought KK was fantastic today. So it just came down to final decisions in certain areas, and felt that we became a little bit too reliant on the direct ball that came back down our throat that led to transition moments. But no, the one thing I won't make, Dan, is I won't make excuses. We just didn't find a way, and at the end of the day, like I said, I'm disappointed that I don't get to put on the training gear again this week. But the good thing is, because of how the women's calendar goes, now there's only 2 months off instead of 6. So I guess there's some positives to this. But we'll, like I said, yeah, that had nothing to do with it.
Thank you.
All right, looks like